heard, but now you can be seen. Introducing the PXL2000 camcorder. With the same audio cassette that makes your music, it makes videos. Sight and sound at a price that's easy to handle. Just shoot and play back on the PXL2000 TV. The PXL2000 video system. Now you can be seen and heard.
Welcome to the PXL2000 Extravaganza. You may have heard me mention this in some older videos, maybe even showing clips of my own personal PXL2000 videos from 30 years ago already. Jeez. Anyways, this camera is kind of special to me because of this. That's why I deem this 50% a very special episode. And what I mean by very special episode is it's going to be a new series of videos where if it was original, the original equipment, the actual, like not a replacement like these are. Unfortunately, these are not my originals. But if they were, it'd be 100%. I say 50% because I have 15 hours of footage dating from December 1988, Christmas of 1988, when I first got the PXL2000, up until the summer of 1995. As to what happened to my PXL2000, I rather not get into. I went through this phase and I regret it now. But at least I have my original recordings on beta and VHS. But first and foremost, what makes it so special is it's the only video format and camera to ever record on a compact audio cassette on a Type 2 Chrome at approximately 16 7/8 inches per second. It has to run the tape at a high speed to get the video information on the tape. But it does it in a very unique way. The one thing you got to take into account is this is 1986 when they started developing it. And it came out by the Christmas season 1987. At that time, video cameras were thousands of dollars. And the thing that's amazing about this is this can all be had for 109. Well, let me put it this way. I have two examples here. The one on the right cost about $179.99. And the one on the left, I want to say it was $100, but another part of me wants to say it's $129.99. That, in contrast to normal consumer video cameras at the time, was a huge price difference, but it was still expensive. So if you talk about inflation, the deluxe model for $179.99 comes to $489.04 in today's money. The regular model comes to $353.19 if it was $129.99. So that's a huge difference. You know, value of the dollar was so much more back then than it is today. Here's something else to put in perspective here. The very first camcorder, as in where I combined the VCR with the camera, was the 1983 Sony Betamovie BMC 110. You will see a video on this, not soon, but you will eventually see a video on this because this will be a very special episode. Taking that into account, I mean, it's still a tube camera, a Trinicon tube camera. And this is only in 1983. These cameras here, in 1986 they started developing this. So 1987, these things, they're a camcorder, which has only been on the market for 4 years already. It's solid state, it has a CCD. And not only that, the way it records video, it's actually, in a way, digital. And it has a frame buffer. So, for 1980 this was pretty amazing, actually. You have to take into account the technical obstacles to make this happen. It's the only one out there like it, and there's never going to be another one. So real quick history on this. The inventor of the PXL2000 was not Fisher-Price. It was an engineering firm in New Jersey, and the inventor was James Wickstead, and his engineering firm developed this. It started in 1986, and they got Fisher-Price to market it. And the OEM on the cameras is Sanyo. The PXL2000 TV is just an off-the-shelf TV, which I'll get into later. Internally to them, it was just called the Pixel or Pixel Vision. Fisher-Price added on the 2000 part, but it does not mean 2000 pixels. The resolution is approximately 120 pixels by 90 pixels for a total of 10,800 pixels. So before we continue on, I'll just give you some technical details about this. It uses a Sanyo LA7306M custom ASIC chip to do the processing for this. Tape speed is 16 and 7/8 inches per second, which is about 9.5 times of a normal audio cassette. Viewing angle, 60 degrees. Focal length, 1/8 of an inch to infinity. Yeah, everything's in focus from 1/8 of an inch to infinity. It's incredible how they did that. And another fun fact, these cameras were the very first cameras ever to use electronic irising. It was developed in conjunction with Sanyo. It is patented to this camera. Sanyo and everybody else started using this technology afterward. It does it by auto-adjusting to changes in light by electronically sampling a pixel and reducing the energy going into it. And they sold about 400,000 of these units. Now, while it was marketed as a kid's toy as the demographic, it found more use with teenagers and adults, and nowadays in actual movies. I have seen examples where they showed a PXL2000, but they put just a very crystal clear black and white image on there, and that's not it. Check out the movie Slacker from 1990. They used a whole 2-minute and a little over 2-minute sequence of actual PXL2000 camera footage.
$5 cover.
I gotta see.
Hey, Kelly, nice shoes.
Hey, what is that?
Oh, it's my Pixel Vision camera. It's for a project that I'm putting together. Hey, I'll tell you what, why don't you take it and shoot whatever you want, pass it around, and we'll see what we come up with later on, okay? But I want my camera back, all right?
And the movie Hamlet from 2000 used the PXL2000 there too.
Why, what an ass am I, this most brave, that I, son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, pack my heart with words. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch conscience of the king.
And you don't have to record to the cassette. If you plug it into a VCR and hit record without the camera running, you can record live video to it. But yeah, these didn't sell that well, mostly due to the high price at the time. Even though it was insanely cheaper than an actual video camera. I mean, these are still video cameras. It's just they're so unique in how they do it. And one thing I am so happy about on these is how they actually look normal. They don't look kiddified or whatever, you know, like a my first Sony. I hated those things. I'd much rather have a real tape recorder, which I did. I mean, these look legit, look normal. They don't look like a kid's toy. But you got to really appreciate the technology that went into making this all happen. And that's why I have these in front of you right now today. So you're asking, what's going on here? Well, like I said, these were sold. One on the left was sold just as a camera. The one on the right was the deluxe. It included a TV. The one on the right is given to me by a friend way back in 2007, but we didn't get it working until 2010. And then what happened after 2010, while I was trying to demonstrate it, and the output quit working. And I remember I tore the camera apart and kept it in baggies and everything, but it just sat there after that. Life happened, and only now I got back to it and I fixed it all up. There was nothing wrong with the camera at all. And I'll tell you what it was. It was later on. The one on the left came from a thrift store for the low, low price of $4.95. I saw it on the shelf. I'm like, that cheap? I'm grabbing it. So yes, I have both variants, and I don't know how rare the Canadian version is with dual language there. So yeah, you think the cameras are the same. There's one difference, and it's completely technical. Nothing to do with the video or audio, but the tape transport. It just uses an off-the-shelf Tanishin tape transport that's been modified with different pulley sizes. This one has auto stop at tape end. This one here, this is where it gets interesting. They removed the auto stop and replaced it with a beeper at tape end. You're gonna say, doesn't that seem like it would be the other way around? No, and here's my theory on it. The auto stop mechanism is one of those pressure types, and it probably, I know this for a fact, sometimes if you engage play or record, it might kick it right back out when it first starts the tape. I know I've always had that problem on mine back in the day. As well as I think it creates extra drag on the tape. So they got rid of that and just used a beeper when it hits tape end. It won't hurt anything because it'll just, they're on clutches, but it'll just drain your battery. So it has a rather nice Kyocera branded beeper in it, and it hits tape end, it goes off, and it uses a real table sensor like a VCR does to sense movement. So it's pretty cool. And you'll get to see that once I tear these both apart. And now I need to add a little extra light on the subject. As you know, as you may have seen, I do not have a studio or anything, so I just film wherever I have the space and wherever the lighting is. So I was using natural sunlight. Now I have to turn the lights on because it's starting to get into late evening. So after this died off and they weren't selling anymore, Sanyo, now help me identify this because I can't find any information on this. Is Sanwa a subsidiary of Sanyo? Because I mean, what it is, there's a variant of this called the Sanwa Sanpix 1000 that was sold in the Asian market. It is NTSC, but NTSC Japan, like it would be channels 1 and 2 output instead of 3 and 4 like we got here. But this would be kind of cool to have that interesting variant of it. Otherwise, it's identical. In front of you is every accessory you could have gotten with the PXL2000. And we'll go over that starting from left to right. I mean, of course, it's going to come with the instruction manual. Somehow I have like 4 instruction manuals, and one of them is in English and French, which is going to be rarer. It's not these ones here, but yeah, I have like this one. Look at the printing on. This one's more purplish, or compared to this one. Otherwise, it's the same. That's the newer camera with the beeper, as mentioned. It came with an RF switch box, reminiscent of an Atari or early '80s video game system before automatic RF switchers became a thing. And because it's from that time frame, still a lot of TVs had twin lead 300 ohm inputs. So 75 ohm in with an RCA jack to this, and antenna, which you also had to put. Back in the day, I did this on a cable TV system. When I rediscovered the PXL2000 in late 1993, I never bothered hooking it to a VCR before. So I didn't have much in the way of footage left from my stuff back in the end. Had 1988, 1991 footage, which I did save to that beta tape. And I hooked it to the TV and our cable TV system with a, 75 ohm, 300 ohm Balun. I don't know how you would want to say that. I always said Balun, as in balanced, unbalanced, but I keep hearing everybody else say Balun. It's just like monaural or monaural. I mean, this is just how you want to pronounce it, I guess. But yeah. So, RF switch. It came with one Type 2 Chrome PXL2000 tape. That's an original tape there. So this is all it is, just a Type 2 Chrome 90-minute tape. I don't know who the manufacturer is, but I would assume PXL, maybe. If someone actually knows, let me know. It would have came with that. And the AC adapter on this one here, you would have had to have ordered separately. And fortunately, it came with it in the box here. And that's it for that. I'll show the box in more detail. This is the PXL2000 belt strap. It was able to hold 6 AA batteries and a spare cassette. Obviously, it's kid size, so it will not work with adults. This is the RF cable. That's what failed. And I'm like, it just happened suddenly. And I'm like, the way it behaved like it failed with the electronics in the RF modulator. Nope. Because after I finished everything, I had 2 of these cables actually, and I didn't know which one was which. And I went to hook it up to a bigger TV, and I got nothing. Or it was trying to do something, but not. So I tried to do the process of elimination because both worked with this PXL2000 TV. Both cameras, that is. And I found it was a bad cable. So this is the good cable right here. Problem solved. Coming over here, into the deluxe kit, it came with the PXL2000 TV, an AC adapter, the PXL2000 RF switch again, but this time it came with, for the TV, a 300 ohm to 75 ohm Balun, whatever. Somehow I have yet another AV switch. I don't know where this one came from, but I have a 300 ohm twin lead to 75 ohm F-type adapter on it, so I can easily plug it into a standard television. You have the instruction manual, and you can tell by what title what they were referencing. Mike and Dave's Excellent Adventure.
Excellent!
And this was recorded by a couple of teenagers, at least old enough to drive. However, there's one problem, and I can explain how you can fix this later in the video. I went to play the tape, and it was just nothing but dropouts and audio, because it must not have been recorded on the same unit. So, because I couldn't make out really what was going on, I ended up erasing it with my own stuff. I did find a solution, and I'll demonstrate that later in this video. One thing you notice on both cameras, there is a plug removed. It can snap back in, but there's a plug right here I popped out. And by the position of it, you guessed it, tape head azimuth plays a huge role in this. And you would never have known it, but I had a tape that was basically long lost footage, totally unusable. Adjusted the azimuth, and it snapped right in, and it looked perfect. I'm like, whoa. So that's why on both cameras I leave that plug out, because it apparently is an essential adjustment. Probably won't need it on tapes recorded on your own unit, but if someone asks, hey, I had this as a kid or whatever, I need to get the footage off of it, more than likely you're going to have to make an adjustment. And another AC adapter, which was also purchased separately, because the deluxe model only included one for the TV, but not for the camera, even though it's the same AC adapter. The one final thing the original PXL2000 carrying case. That one I did have back in the day too. I really love the color scheme on it. That was also an optional accessory. So yeah, that's everything about the PXL2000 right here. Let's get into the details. One other accessory that was included with the camera is called the bipod. Not a tripod, but a bipod. Because it just clips on the camera and holds it up, just like that, like you see. I have them for both cameras, as you may have noticed right there. So the box. Again, this is the Canadian version with both English and French on it. As you can see by the TV on the box, product may vary from photo. The TV used is just an off-the-shelf TV. I found this exact TV branded Rhapsody, and it's all over eBay. This one here, I think, is an older variant of it. And if I find it, I'll insert a picture here. I think I found a sound design version that looks just like this one here. A revolution in video technology. Yeah, it is. One thing I wanted to mention, the image quality they are showing on here actually is exactly what it looked like. I saw a comment on that PXL2000 commercial where I used it at the beginning, saying that that was a fake image they used. No, I can tell just by looking at it, it is the real image. 15 frames per second, and on a 4.5-inch TV, it looks pretty good. That's why they recommend 13 inches or smaller to view it on. Another thing I'm going to mention is I will not be adding mods to these. It's like, to me, it's the equivalent of circuit bending a speak and spell, which is frowned upon. But it's funny, the same speak and spell I got the same Christmas as this. The camera looks to be a non-functional early version of the camera. Certain things are out of place, like the CCD part is actually more down here, and these buttons don't say play, rewind, stop, etc. A revolution in video technology. Yes, that's why this is important. The feat to be able to do this was incredible. Yeah, even as a kid, I always hated things that say designed for kids. I wanted the real deal. And to me, this wasn't, like I said, it doesn't look like a My First Sony. It looks legit. And it does work. Direct TV playback, no VCR required. Lightweight, yeah, this thing was incredibly light compared to cameras at the time. And it did include 6 Duracell batteries, AC adapter for both camera and TV included. That's just one AC adapter, not 2. I also find it funny, even on the AC adapters, they have to say, caution, electric product. Here's one side of the box, another proof it's an early prototype, or it's a non-functional camera. The whole lens filter is missing right there. And if you're wondering what happened to the box here, it was in a storage unit, and I'm going to say a brand new built storage unit, and apparently it had a water leak. And what had happened was, it didn't make the box look like it got wet. It had black mold in it. Luckily, it didn't travel through the box and damage anything. So I ended up having to cut the black mold out, which is a shame that had happened. Damn it. Here's the back. Okay, so yeah, again, the deluxe camcorder system, the 3305. It's easy. Load a cassette, press record button, look through viewfinder, press start trigger, and you're recording. Yeah, it is just that simple. It's fun. Here's the ultimate creative tool. Watch your friends, family, pets in action. Use it for school assignments and activities. Capture sports action, special times. Even make your own skits and music videos. You'll never run out of ideas. I use mine for other things, like recording me playing Super Nintendo and stuff. All it takes is one simple connection to your TV, no VCR required. Just rewind the tape, push the play button, and watch all the fun. Introducing Pixel Vision. This technological breakthrough records a unique black and white image with sound on a standard audio cassette. Oh yeah, I'll get to that later. Pixel Vision offers real video camcorder action that's easy to use and fun for all. On here it says preset focus. Focus is 4 inches to infinity. It's 1/8 of an inch to infinity. Automatic light adjustment. Built-in microphone. Operated by batteries or AC adapter. Yeah, low, high light and battery indicator, little red LED in the viewfinder. Simple on-off recording that just starts and stops the motor. Easy playback, connects directly to TV for instant playback. Sorry for the box swaying, I have a fan, ceiling fan running. And a 1-year limited warranty. The camera was made in Japan, and the quality shows. It's very well built. TV was made in Taiwan, and it's just your typical off-the-shelf TV. So we're going to look at the cabinet design here, and we're going to see what TV this corresponds to. And this one here was found at a local thrift store in the Pittsburgh area. So you get to see what the standard camcorder came with. Not going to reread everything here, but I don't recognize that store there, so anybody knows what that is, let me know. So yeah, you can see here, it's the same shape, but you see you rotate it, that's your outdoor filter, and that's your indoor filter. Alright, so this is the back of the box. 888, so August 1988, and obviously proving it is the later version. So accessories, we got the camera carrying case, we got the belt strap, action strap they call it, and the PXL2000 tape twin pack. We just bought standard Type 2 tapes to make this work. Now let's set this box apart as it folds open like this. So easy to use. Yeah, it's basically the same graphics on here. And you got to see through clear windows here. And the same image there. So here's the original packing material for the non-deluxe model. How it would most likely have looked. Tapes would have gone there. In fact, let's simulate that. There. 6 Duracell batteries would have went there. And you'll see probably one of the original Duracell batteries was included with this camera here. Yeah, it's perfectly cut out for the instruction manual right there. So that's what it would look like. And there it is back in the box. So I'm not going to go through repacking this one up because this is the one we're going to use for demonstration purposes. Plus, I'm going to keep this one in its carrying case instead. And right here is one of those plugs taken out of that hole to access the tape head azimuth adjustment. So I can always simply plug it back in and it'll be there, but in the meantime. And this one here, it starts right here. You can see it goes right from English to French. And this book is a little stiff. But yeah. Yeah, I'll just do a quick glance through the book here. Yeah, it shows in more detail what was included with each. The TV. So here's the PXL2000 TV. And just standard controls in the back: brightness, contrast, vertical hold, DCN, and your external antenna jacks. And you'll get to see everything inside the TV shortly in this video. 46 weeks of 1987. And the AC adapter, 38th week of 1987. And now for the part you really wanted to see, the PXL2000 camera. So there is no fast forward because of how the mechanism has been modified. The only way the idler gear is coupled is just right to the playback clutch. The fast forward part is not there. It's been completely removed. But not like it matters much. I mean, though it would be nice because rewind is really fast. It would be nice having a really fast forward too, but oh well. Opening the unit. This is the one that does not have the full auto stop. And the other difference I've noticed is this tape transport, and this one is very quiet compared to the other one. That noise you hear when this is running is merely the idler gears whirring. This is a case where if they still made tape transports with rubber tires, it would need it. It would be dead quiet if they did that. But that's all they had at the time. And you'll see it's a slightly modified Tannition. And when you close it, you do have to press down right there to make it latch. Coming around the back, you have the start-stop switch for record. Your DC-in jack. And your RF out. And that switch above is your RF channel 3 or 4. It's currently in channel 3. The FCC ID comes back as Fisher-Price, but in reality this was built by Sanyo, a division of the Quaker Oats Company. I always thought that was interesting. I always thought that was funny. Made in Japan, patent pending. And coming around to the front, you have the lens. Now you'll notice one problem you'll always run into with these cameras when you get one. There will be a blue filter over top the camera lens right there on the inside. The purpose of it is supposed to be for infrared filtering. And the problem is, due to off-gassing internally, it always hazes up. However, mine is completely removed because even after trying to clean mine, it worked, but it's still, like, the difference in focus between this one and the other camera. And it's because in this one, I couldn't get it any cleaner, so I removed it, and it made a huge difference. It performs so much better with it removed. And it really doesn't overload anything when you go outside. You just have to make sure you flip it into the high position. And inside the carrying case, it does have a little flap you can flip up. The first camera I took apart was the first camera I had I got in 2007. And as you can see by the mechanism, it's been modified so it has the switch there. You have to have a tape in it in order to even press play. So that's one mod. And there's where that famous noise comes from, the playback clutch. Notice how it doesn't have any provisions for fast forward in this one. And there's your auto stop, just like any other Tannition. So here I just you treat it just like any other tape deck. You can demagnetize the tape head as shown. Clean it the same as well. Here's the front cover by itself. And there's the cassette door with even metal springs on it. I mean, this is a very well put together camera. And here is the eyepiece. It just simply slides back in place. Make sure you get the orientation correct. It is at an angle, sloping towards you, going down. And there's the outer lens right there with the high filter for going outdoors. And there's the motor start-stop switch. And that's the orientation it has to go in when you install it. Be careful not to pinch any of the wires. I've done that before. It doesn't end well. And the cassette doors are held in place with those little plastic flexible hinges, live hinges right there. And here's the camera again, fully assembled. And there's looking through the viewfinder. Make sure that red LED is in place. Next, we're going to take apart the TV, which has security bits. I'm not sure what that type is called, but it looks like a Y. There's 3 screws on the bottom, 2 of which are under felt pads. And you have 2 up top right there. The 2 up top are longer in length. TV simply pulls apart. The speaker is simply pressed in there. You pull it out. Disconnect your antenna wire. It is screwed on. And interesting, the circuit board also says Fisher Price, even though it's an off-the-shelf TV. Notice how it has a Samsung Jungle IC in it. And that power transistor right there is a voltage regulator. And there is the picture tube, NATO cathode ray tube, made in Korea. So that's interesting. Picture tube's made in Korea. It has a Samsung IC, but it's made in Taiwan and not sure by whom. And there's the flyback transformer, UL recognized, 36 week of 1987. There's the horizontal output transistor. Notice it doesn't have a heatsink on it. It's such a small set it doesn't need it. Your second anode cap. There's the speaker. It's made in Taiwan, 8 ohm, 1 watt, In-Chan brand. So that potentiometer right in the middle of your screen there is most likely for horizontal frequency. The vertical height adjustment is that potentiometer right there in the front. That potentiometer by the voltage regulator is most likely to adjust the output voltage to the rest of the circuit board, which means that potentiometer right there in the middle of your screen is your RF AGC. And that's pretty much all the adjustments. So finish taking the TV apart, you pull off all the knobs off the front, sliders, and you take the screw off the bracket right there, and that's what holds the whole TV in. And that little blue plastic for the dial scale just slides right out. And there's your picture tube. It's a completely flat CRT, but it has a nice haze on it, most likely due to off-gassing after nearly almost 40 years. You can see on this wipe, and I'm saying this because it was behind a sealed bezel, but yet it still happens, and it gets dust and hazy in there. So that's another reason why I wanted to disassemble this. And even in that, see, it is even a gasket on there. That still happens. That's just the nature of things. So we're going to go ahead and clean everything up here. So our next step now is to adjust the vertical height. That's how it is. You see how shrunken it is? It should be perfectly even around all 4 corners. So just a plastic adjustment tool there into said potentiometer. And there we go. That's much better. And the thing about this TV is it's a really good TV. I mean, it even has no geometry problems. Linearity is perfect on it. Even if it was considered cheap back then, it was still well made. And of course, cameras focused on the Novus. I love that stuff so much. And now we are on to the second camera with this awesome discovery right here. I should have taken this thing apart when I got it, roughly, I don't know, 10 years ago. I didn't know this was in here. The other battery compartment was empty, but that is a real artifact there. Look at the date, July 1991. I bet you those were 2 of the original batteries that camera would have came with right there. And another thing, when you take one of these cameras apart, you'll encounter this sticker around the lens right there, and there's no real good way to take it off. I've tried and ended up ripping that one in half. It's just cosmetic, but either way, it's off. You can easily disassemble the camera again once it's done. Now, taking care of the battery acid leakage is Simple Green Plus Ultrasonic. Being careful not to get the rest of the camera labels wet because it will take them off. But just like that right there, ran it through the ultrasonic. I think I ran it through for about 10 minutes when I did that. And as you can see, the contacts on that are perfect on the lower part anyways. Now I just stick it on the drying fan. But the electrical terminals that connect to the circuit board are another story. Those were pretty bad. Look at how rusty and corroded it is. I am still going to run it through the ultrasonic to try to clean it up some. See how we come out, you know. But in the end, I had to take a Dremel tool with a wire brush to it. It worked. And I had good continuity. I checked it with the meter. So the next step now is we have to change the belts. One of the screws you have to take off for the tape transport is that voltage regulator transistor right there, as well as two on top. You'll see that later in the video. But the idler, on the other hand, the spring was completely popped off of it. Luckily, I did find the cap for it. You'll see that very shortly. But that's part of the reasons why this didn't work, in addition to super loose egg-shaped belts that are coming up on 40 years in just maybe 3 more years. Wow. And you can see the spring for it. Yeah, those belts were pretty dang loose. And you can just pull that right off and you can see the clutch, just a felt pad. And that spring goes on there like that and is compressed. And the little cap there is just press fit. The reason why it popped off was due to age. The plastic shrunk around the metal pin and cracked. Now, it can be fixed. It's on there now, and you put a teeny tiny dab of super glue on that. Don't do a lot. That'll damage things. Just enough to hold it on. And this is just to show the size of the motor pulley compared to a traditional tape deck. Look how huge that thing is. As well as the diameter of the flywheel. I think the flywheel is probably about the same size it normally is. This looks weird because it's solid. It has to be much heavier so it maintains a better tape speed. And here's my order placed with turntable needles. 7.7 and 7.4 square belt small is what it takes. And there's the Cassette beeper. Reassembly time. GPX! And there's what happens when the supply spindle isn't turning. The beeper will beep. And now on to the infamous blue infrared filter. Look how cloudy that thing is. It's terrible. This is what to expect when you first receive one of these cameras. It ain't gonna work. Let me show you what it really looks like. All right, this is what a camera that is unrestored will look like when you purchase one. As you can see absolutely nothing. You see light, You see absolutely nothing. It's essentially blind. I mean, like right now, I am looking at the Hunter fan Emerson installed now. If I pan over here, I'm looking at a picture on the wall, but you don't get to see any of that. The first thing you will do is you pop that little cover off right there. There is a little bit of glue holding it in place, but once you break it free, it'll come right off. Once that's off, it'll be tough at first, but take a small wrench, crescent wrench or whatever, I don't even know what size it was, and because it's obviously hexagonal shaped, and break it free. Turn it counterclockwise. I was not able to pop the blue filter out without doing this. I had to take a small needle and push it through the pinhole there to pop out the blue filter you see on the right. I was going to do the right thing and try to clean the filter and put it back in, but the camera was now watchable, but it didn't look as good as the other camera. And when I took the infrared filter off, it got really sharp and nice looking. The reason for the filter, see, I tried to put it back in. I cleaned it. You see how much better it looks. Yeah, it looks much better, but still not perfect. The reason for this filter is for going outdoors. The infrared light from the sun overloads the camera, but if you put the outer lens on the high position, I never really noticed a problem with it. And in fact, the camera seems to work better without it. So, like everybody else, I removed it. Now, upon reassembly, when you're threading it back in, that actually does act as the focus. So you must hook it up to a TV and make sure you get your focus just right. Because mine wasn't quite as good as where the factory mark was. But when you're done, I put a tiny dab of hot glue in place to hold it because it is very loose. You don't want it to shift from vibrations or whatever. So that's what that's all about right there. And the last step to do when reassembling it, to put the rubber feet back on, I put a tiny dab of hot glue in the screw hole before putting the old feet back down. The original adhesive won't hold it anymore. But I use hot glue because it'll hold it just fine, but if you ever have to take this back apart again, it'll be easily removed. Last step I want to do now, we are going to wash the PXL2000 camera case. And yes, it can be washed. It even has instructions on the little label inside how to do so, on delicate cycle cold. And the last thing I wanted to do, this is the regular model. That's how much I got it for at the thrift store. What am I doing? Lighter fluid. It'll take it right off. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give a quick demonstration of the PXL2000 on the PXL2000 TV. And then I would like to show you my original recordings, some selected moments, and I'd like to record some new footage. So that's what you'll expect to see next. And there it is. So let's get started here. Power on. Yep, and just a standard old TV. Someone's gonna make a comment about RF. Here's the thing, every time I notice there's problems with RF, it's usually due to, you know, balins, matching transformers, cables, etc. Yes, going to a composite connection would be better, but RF isn't as bad as what people are making it out to be. I've never had any problems with RF. And in fact, when I have people come over and we play, like, you know, Nintendo or Genesis or whatever, they're like, and this is RF? I'm like, yeah. Got everything properly connected in there, and I use a distribution amp, and everything looks crystal clear and perfect. Even right now, everything's in perfect working order, and you'll see that. So let's do this. I'm just going to go right into live video for a second. Put a tape in, close it, make sure the switch is off, push it in. Now what's going on here, we'll have to adjust the tuner because I think I may have bumped it. And there we go. Let's see if I stand it up. And I look at the TV. Now obviously it's going to be hard to record this TV because modern cameras, but anyways, you're looking at the back of the chair there. I'm going to do it up. And there's the picture on the wall. You can see it works just fine. Let me see, the baker's rack over there is now on there. Like I said, it's going to be hard to record this, but we'll do some direct hookups later in the video for demonstration purposes. It's at the end of the tape on side B. I did that on purpose. This is what happens when you put it in play. That's the beeper. If it was the other variant, which I think the other variant's more common because everybody else had, including myself, had the auto stop version. This one was completely new to me. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Now here's a perfect example involving tape head azimuth. I'll hit play. You see it's like completely unwatchable. You don't even know what's going on. You know? Watch this. Well, how about that? I'll probably have to adjust it just a little more. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just tweaking it. So that's us on the Parkway. Let me see if I can get a better image here. That's my old car. So. But yeah, if you ever get that problem and you need to, hey, there's Emerson Colley. But yeah, if you ever have that problem, it's tape head azimuth. That's all it is. I tweaked it. There we go. So this is what the tape looks like during normal playback. The left channel is the video, the right channel is the audio. And one thing's for certain, and that is the audio is always crystal clear because it's running at such a high speed. The beeper. So this is, it just has a really unique aesthetic to it, the video quality. Plus, I mean, you think about it, we're playing video on an audio cassette. Now, one interesting thing to note from that James Wickstead interview I had watched, he said in the mid-90s they were able to develop a color version of this as a working prototype. It obviously never made it to market, but I mean, it said it had twice the resolution of this one, and it was in color. I would assume maybe 256 colors. That would seem like a good number. But yeah, this is digital, how it processes. See, watch this. I'm going to see the frame buffer. What should I hit rewind? Look, we're looking at the last image. It was in the buffer right there. So there's proof. So for 1987, this thing was pretty advanced if you think about it. That's what it could do. So at this point in the video, how about I show you some of my original recordings from 1988 through 1995, as well as we'll insert some video clips from 2010. the last time this was used. In the upcoming videos, you're going to see some artifacts from back then. First thing being, such as this GE memory phone from 1992, purchased at Service Merchandise. The phone you see in the video is the same phone you see here. So you know exactly where it was back in 1994. And in fact, I think the battery backup in it still works. Last time I hit redial, it redialed, so that works. You'll see this alarm clock very briefly for like a second. This was my first alarm clock. Got it November 1985. It's still here, and it's in that video, and now you get to see where it was back in 1994. Shortly after you see this, you'll see these two remote controls. You'll also see this exact lamp. When you see, what the, a Hoover, that's this one. Unfortunately, it is not the same vacuum. You'll also see this Panasonic reel-to-reel tape recorder. And while I'm here, I might as well show you, I got the national version as well as the Panasonic version. That'll be for a future video. A couple more artifacts. Forgive the boom boxes. These are all restored boxes waiting for videos. But you'll see that same Nintendo chest. The regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo, they're the same ones, although not yellowed yet. As well as the Sony Super Beta SL100, which did the recordings. This is the same VCR. That's been with me since I was 3 years old. And it's been my VCR since September 1989. Technically earlier, but that's when I first started using it. And it's been with me ever since. There'll be a very special episode on that VCR in the near future. And here's the same exact TV you're about to see. The 1990 Sears and the Emerson VCR 964 VHS VCR, which I've done a video on. Again, link in the upper right. This is important. You'll see what this TV was doing 30 years ago in the PXL2000. And this is the VCR that recorded the VHS tapes, as you will see. So here it is, also at age 34, still working fine. You'll see a brief clip of it in the video. So I did some captures on this, but trying to play it full screen, it looked terrible. And it's because I'm putting that low of resolution into 1080p, or even 4K for that matter. I had to be across the room for the image to be pretty clear. So I got the idea, why don't I just shrink down the size of the video to where it's nice and clear, which you will see it is pretty clear at that point. Which also leads me to tell you about the black border you see around the PXL2000. That's there because it was such a low resolution already. You don't want to lose any more of it due to overscan, so that's why they added the black border around it. So speaking of borders, instead of just having a big black border around everything because I shrunk it down, I did this. Check it out. Please note, TV image is simulated.
Hi. When I was showing you that fish, I wanted to tell you something. Do not do this. I'm clicking a fish tank, like this, and I'm going to tell you, don't overfeed them. It should be just around your fingers, just like outside of your thumb. Should be that much. Not a big pinch, like this big. Has to be this big. And that's how you take care of a fish. Please don't do it with your fish or they will die. Please don't do that. I'll hope you enjoy it. There's something else coming on. So let's begin. That's all for today. Music show is over. Join next time. It will probably be one day.
back to the old school, cause I'm an old fool. Who's so cool? If you wanna get down, I'll show you the way. Yeah, it is. Let me get the second.
Now, go on now. Go on now.
No dinner with Mel Gibson? No dancing with Michelle Pfeiffer? No chit-chat with Don Knotts? Well, I know when we're not wanted. I know when we should just go home. Now is not one of those times. Take over for us.
No way!
What?
Who says studio parties don't rock?
That's shindig, darling.
December 23rd. I was watching Animaniacs. I don't know why, but I felt like it. And I got my favorite. Oh my god, my real. Shit, what's the council say?
That's right, people used to be my friends. Maybe we should talk this over. Talk? Well, then let us out. Look, it's a trick, Ed Mushrooms. Are you going to forget all those horrible things that Louie did?
Comes over.
Let's rumble! Hurry, attack! Hurry, rumble! You're the only one who can save us! You were deep, just to work. I'm doing the brain work, big mouth. You? I thought you were wanted a garbage screwy fight.
Nintendo. January 19th, emergency. We have to keep the lights off.
Pennsylvania 4, and now listen. So do so like the TV's alive. Awesome! Escaping, Michael. You could get past this one. But you could get past this one. Remember, you just keep staying under it, and you beat him. Yeah, but you lose life because he won't move anymore whenever I get to him. Should have taped him blowing up. Oh no, Michael, here comes this one. Watch this. Show your mom this screen. Hang on. I will. Mike is done. No, he's staying crooked. He'll get straight. 35. Color 11. Oh, thank my heavens. I'm back to my old self again. Thank you so much. Here is a letter from the princess. Another P-Wing. January 29th, 1994. Ain't that just news?
Okay, this is, today is, what's the date? Oh, I'll find out on my watch. Today is February 27th, 1994, 12:36 p.m. Scott just left, and I bought a new AC adapter for my video camera. Not AC, new switch for my camera and a new hookup wire. It works great. I had something to play back on my cassette tape recorder. If you just hold on a minute, I gotta get that. Oh, God. Oh, God, I love it. Won't it itchy?
I'm invincible! I'm the cop! And you're under arrest, Yoshi. Well, I don't think I'm gonna pull over.
He goes, bum biting boo buddy. Oh, that's all I had to show you for today. Today's 23rd of April, 1990. Oh, of course. Today's Saturday. And this is the back of the house. Hotel Brat Caution. You are on camera, Amy.
Nice.
Watch him? Okay. I don't quit taping Chloe. When is she? No, leave her there, leave her there. I want to tape her. Aw. Hi, Amy. Now I'm following the kitten.
PXL2000.
And what is that?
It's an old-ass camera that records on an audio cassette.
Really?
Yep.
That is amazing. Only you would have something like that.
Yeah, and Spats.
And you.
Yep.
I like the beer.
My God, I really like
2010. Yeah, trying to. I don't know if I've got you on or not. I can't see the viewfinder. That guy looked.
Take over for us.
Who says studio parties don't rock?
Let's shindig, darling.
June 2nd, I was watching Animaniacs. Don't know why, but I felt like it. And I got my favorite. What the? A Hoover? Yeah. Hey, Leah. What are you doing? You're the macho kitty? Hey, little dude. What are you doing? You're not little dude. You're Bandy. You join bands. Hey, looky. Yeah. Oh, so much. What are you doing? Yeah, hey Leah, attack the circle thing. That's not attacking it. Hey Kylie. Hey, how are you? And just for fun, Adrian's Digital Basement demonstrated one of these $4 things. So I bought one just to play around with. Naturally it arrived broken, but I put a long, I think it's a 12-foot, 15-foot cable on it, and an adapter. I can play it. That didn't work out so well. I'm trying to hold the thing with one hand and get killed with the other. And now, for the last thing we'll do, live video test. Super Mario All-Stars. Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, World 8-4. We're doing it again in 2024, right now. Here we go. I was always Luigi. Oh, yeah, right. I fell right off just starting the game. Yeah, last summer I sat down and played this game for the first time in decades, and wow, was it hard, and brought back a lot of memories. That's why I want to get Famicom. Oh, this is what I remember. Watch, I'm probably gonna die. I didn't even get a mushroom here. What the hell? Oh, come on, you stupid piranha plant. You're gonna kill me. Seems like John's. Yeah, see what I mean? Walmart supporter. Oh! Oh, damn it.